Welcome to Tour Tuesday, everybody. It's September 6th. Time flies when you're having fun. It's so good to see everybody. This is the really official start of our super busy fall travel season. So we've got a lot going on in the office. Boarding passes are being worked on galore, and trip kits are being mailed out every day. And this is where we pray that the leaves will turn at just the right time and it won't rain, and it's just going to be perfect weather on all of these trips, because lots of you, I'm sure, on this call, and the large majority of our clients are traveling in the next 2 months. So lots of sold out trips, but also trips with space still. So if you haven't booked a trip in September or October, if you're only booked on one and you want to book more, now's the time, and you can give Deb and Lindy a call, and they will advise you what our available trips are. And we certainly hope you join us, because we know you'll have a fantastic time. We are here today. Well, I should have played some Christmas music or something, because we're here today to talk about Christmas themed trips, or our holiday vacations. If you were with us last year, we talked about a bunch of different holiday vacations, and we've got 3 new vacations to talk to you about today. So we're really excited about that. I will go ahead and introduce myself after I've been talking for a couple minutes, but my name is Sandy Borowski, and I am the 3rd generation owner of Star Tours. I am responsible for the tour division. And I've got some folks here today that are here to help. That's Deborah Ayers, travel advisor Deborah Ayers, and travel advisor Lindy Rivera. And they're here to help tonight, but they're also here in the office Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, to help you book your trip and answer any questions you have. We've also got some tour directors on tonight. I see Betty Barr. Wave Betty, there she is. We've got Martha Costa, who's joining us tonight also as a presenter. And let's see, I haven't seen any other tour directors, so if I missed you, chime in. So it's great to be here with all of you today. We've got some special guests too. I'll introduce them as we move along. So what we'll do is we'll start our presentation, and we're going to go through each of the 3 tours. At the end of each of the tours, if you have any questions regarding that tour, go ahead and raise your hand or chime in and ask it. And at the very end, if you have any general questions, that's where you want to ask general questions. So specific tour related question, please ask at the end of the tour presentation, and general tour questions, please ask at the end of the presentation of all the 3 tours. So we have a lot to talk about today, some great tours. So we're going to jump right in, and I'm going to share my screen with you, as I'm not going to forget to do that. And we are first going to talk about, there we go, our Boston Pops, I can't even do the Boston accent right. I'm terrible at it, but the Boston Pops Gingerbread Christmas Tour. And I have an expert here to talk to us about that. And her name is Nancy Hickey. And Nancy, if you can unmute yourself. Nancy's company, I'll give you a little bit of a bio while Nancy's unmuting herself. Nancy's company is Berkshire Tours, and Nancy is an expert in all things Boston and all things touring. And we've been working with Nancy for many, many years, and she does great trip planning for us. And we're thrilled that she can join us here tonight to talk about this Gingerbread Christmas Tour. So welcome, Nancy. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh, well, sure. Thank you. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, good. Hi, everybody. And thank you so much for inviting me, Sandy. And yes, I've been in business since 1989. And I think I've known Star Tours since 1989. And we're a family company as well. And I'm really pleased to be here. And thank you so much for inviting me to give you a little taste of the Boston Pops holiday tour that we have in store for you. And we've enjoyed a long working relationship with Star Tours. And this Boston Pops Holiday Christmas Tour that we've collaborated on together is really special. It's a proven winner. It fills buses, and it's sure to put everyone in the Christmas spirit. So let me tell you why the program is so special. The first thing is that on this tour, you are going to be staying at a 5-star luxury resort hotel. It's the Encore Boston Harbor Luxury Hotel and Casino, and it is top notch. We were actually one of the first, if not the first, tour company to do business with them. They've given us very special rates that we pass along to all of our clients, and you are pampered when you're there. Just to let you know a little bit about the hotel, their rooms are 650 square feet, which is huge. It's the largest in New England. They have all kinds of amenities in the room, but the thing that I find most fun when I stay there is their voice activated electric curtains, lighting, heating, air conditioning, and room service at the hotel. It's very fancy.
Wait, did you say voice activated room service?
Yes.
That would be dangerous for me.
That would be, it could be can prove to be dangerous. And you can see the slide there of the room, the property, and every room has a view. The views are just phenomenal. It's a great place to stay. So you have, when you arrive, you check in, and they actually also give you a credit towards slot play for the casino. And each person actually receives a $70 credit for that. And then you also do dinner there. We have a voucher, Star Tours, your director will give you a voucher towards dinner because there's so many different places to eat. There's a steakhouse, there's Italian, there is Cantonese, there's Asian inspired dishes, there's everything. So it's a lot of fun just to decide where you're going to eat and what you're going to do. And people just really love staying at that hotel.
So each tour guest gets 5 $20 meal vouchers that they can use at any of the restaurants they want.
Yes, ma'am, they do. That's how you can use all 5 at one if you want a very fancy dinner, or you can use one $20 voucher for each meal that you're there. So you can mix and match. Yes, thank you for that.
Excellent.
Yep.
I'm going to back up and just go over the dates for a second. So these dates are perfectly timed for the Christmas season. You know, it's the middle of December. You might need a break. It's not Christmas yet. It's a lovely 4-day trip. It leaves December 11th. And returns on the 14th. It's not our least expensive tour, but as Nancy said, there's many wonderful things in this tour that you're going to hear about, especially the Encore Boston Hotel. So we do include 1 lunch, 1 dinner, as well as 5 $20 meal vouchers. So those could potentially be 7 meals if you use them wisely. So that's the overview of the tour. And our first day is a travel day. We're driving up to Boston, and the how we do it. We stop every 2 to 3 hours. We'll stop for lunch, and we'll get there in the afternoon. So we'll have time to be at the hotel on arrival day into the evening, where we can really experience the hotel and start to be pampered and try out all of these electronic things like the electronic blinds, windows, and room service. So it's super exciting. And you can see these beautiful pictures that Nancy talked about. This is just a room. This is not like the presidential suite. This is just a regular room.
That's right. That's right.
Amazing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. So tell us about day 2.
Okay, great. So after a nice night's sleep, you have breakfast off a menu at the Encore. As we went over, you can use your vouchers, and then you meet your local guide. All of our guides live locally. They've lived here for a very long time. They're very immersed in the community, and we've all worked together for a long time. And what you'll be doing is what's called the stocking stuffer tour. So every guest gets a Christmas stocking, and they're very cute. They have different applique on them. And also because I am the designated Santa Claus helper here in Boston, and I do a lot of the Christmas shopping for this tour, we get so many gifts that they don't all fit in the stocking. So we also give you a shopping bag as well. And throughout the tour guide is going to give you a historic tour of Boston, but with a Christmas flair. And even going over the times when you were fined if you celebrated Christmas in Boston. And as you go around, the guide has different gifts for you at different stops, and it's just a lot of fun. And people really enjoy the gifts. And you also get a little history in there as well. And there's always usually some sweet treat as well. So it's fun. And a highlight of the tour is your lunch. You actually have lunch at Cheers. Remember Cheers, Sam and Diane? Well, we do lunch there, and we do a gingerbread house making lunch. And you can see the gingerbread houses there. I mean, of course, you would decorate your own after lunch. And we have bags for you so that the house can be put into the bag safely and you can take it home with you. And so it's quite a creation.
What if we're not creative like some people I know?
Well, you know what? To each his own.
You're not grading it or anything, are
There's
you?
no grading. You can see two right there. I mean, one of them looks like one I would make, you know, like kid houses. Anyways, that's a real treat. And of course, there's a gift shop there, and you can go upstairs into the Hampshire House Hotel, which was the hotel above Cheers in the TV series. And everybody gets their picture taken out front usually as well.
Fun.
Very fun. After that, the guide will tour you around a little bit more on the stocking stuffer tour over to Symphony Hall, where you will see the Boston Pops, one of the most beloved orchestras. And right there is an image of Keith Lockhart, and he's been conducting since 1995. And the hall, that's a very good picture of the hall, actually, because you can see that it's quite intimate. It seats about 2,600 people total. And we already have our seats reserved for this tour. You're in the balcony, and you're perfectly positioned so that you're looking forward at the stage. Because if you look at this image, you can see some of those balcony seats, you would have to look sideways towards the stage, but we got ours so that you're looking just straight at the stage. And of course, Santa usually comes. There's a sing along with words, in case you need the words to some of the Christmas carols. They do an intermission where you can go and get, if you choose an alcoholic drink, a non-alcoholic drink, a little snack, and then they finish the concert. And this is one of the highlights of Christmas in Boston.
Oh, well, yeah, I jumped the gun there.
That's okay. I mean, there's just a little bit left of that day. After the concert, which this concert is an afternoon concert, you go back to the encore. And again, you can choose from one of the many restaurants for dinner on your own that night, do gaming, see what else they have to offer at the hotel, and just really enjoy yourself after a long, full day of Christmas spirit. All right, so on day 3, after breakfast, you'll meet your guide again. And this is really special, very, very special. Today, you're going to take the Beacon Hill Private Holiday Homes House Tour. And that picture is a picture of a Beacon Hill holiday home decorated for the holidays. Now, these homes are on Beacon Hill, which is where our state house is and our government is. And these are, let's just put it this way, I don't live there. So the way this tour works is there's 3 different homes, and the homeowners are the tour guides, and they meet us and they walk us. You can see the cobblestone or the brick sidewalk there. They walk us through the neighborhood to the different homes, and the group splits up and they invite you into their home. Very beautiful, very, at the risk of sounding a little gauche, very wealthy families. It's just a very lovely experience. And you go through Some of them have three floors. Some, I've been in one that had 4 or 5 floors. Then some of them are just one floor, like they're all different. And the homeowner will not only share like about the actual home and the architecture, but she'll talk about her own family, their traditions, and different things. So each tour is different, and they never leave anybody feeling like they didn't have a really good, intimate, behind the scenes time. It's just a really beautiful tour. And then after that,
Oh, I have more pictures
oh,
here.
oh yes, that's beautiful. So you
Mhm.
have pictures of a more modern December with the green grass still, and then you had some with the snowy December.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are the homes. And then after that tour, we take you over to Quincy Market, one of the icons of New England, where you can have lunch on your own and sample from many food vendors there. The bottom right picture is the middle of the market, where there's actually tables there that you can eat. And looking down that hallway, there are food counters on each side with every kind of food you could ever think of. And of course, it's Boston, so you're going to have your seafood as well as your pizza and your Italian and your roast beef and everything. And then there's also shopping. If you look at that lower left picture where it says Quincy Market, and then the brick building to the right, you can barely see it. It says North Market. There's a North Market and a South. So those markets are on each side of the middle. Yeah, thank you. And that's where all the shopping is. And then of course, there's always going to be carolers and street performers, and it's just a lot of fun. And the good thing about it is there's a lot of indoor space. So it's warm, you can stay warm, and then you just walk from store to store if you want to for shopping afterwards. And of course, plenty of restrooms. And then the dinner this evening will be at one of our fine local restaurants. And those are always sure to please. And then back to the encore. And on your last day, you leave and you travel to Valancourt Folk Art. Now, probably you've seen these little chalkware Santas on the top left. You've probably always seen those your whole life. Well, they are made at Valancourt Folk Art, and the top right picture is actually the store with chalkware everywhere and all sorts of other Christmas goodies. And so that's on your way home. It's outside of Boston. And there are also sometimes the actual artisans are there painting the ornaments. And you can get an ornament, and each person will be given a little gift from Valancourt as well.
It sounds like we might need an extra suitcase per person.
I think you're going to. I mean, for your gingerbread house and your gifts and your stocking stuffer, you probably will.
Absolutely. This sounds like a fantastic trip. We already have 20 people booked to go on this trip. I think I said this before, but let me say it again, December 11th through 14th. So right smack in the middle of the holiday month, before it gets too crazy. So there's still 33 seats left, and your tour director is going to be Karen Coate. And she's been to Boston many times, so you'll have a fantastic time with Karen, as well as your local tour guide that Nancy will send. Does anybody have any specific questions about this tour for Nancy? All right. Does I see a hand? You can, if you have a question, just go ahead and unmute yourself and ask it. Hopefully you don't have any questions, because maybe Nancy covered everything.
Did do a lot of talking.
That's good. That's all. That's the program.
Hi, Sandy. This is Eileen. I have a question.
Hi,
Okay.
Eileen. Go ahead.
So my question is, for the day that you're touring the 3 homes, are they within close proximity of each other, or exactly like how much walking is there for that?
Great question.
Yes, they're in close proximity, and it just varies because there's, 20 or 30 of families that actually participate in this program. So the house can be anywhere on Beacon Hill, but anytime we've done them, they've all been relatively close. And the way that we do it is we have our local tour guide with one of the groups, and then the Star Tours tour director with the other group. And if anyone feels that they want to maybe stop after one house or two houses, then either my guide or the director can walk back with you. You're not very far from Charles Street, which is where there's all kinds of shops and restaurants. So if you went to one house and you decided, I don't want to go to the next one, you actually can just come back a little ways, and there's a Starbucks and all kinds of restaurants and shops or places where you can relax if you wanted to bow out on the tour.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Not that I want to bow out, but I just kind of wanted to gauge, how much walking that there would be. So
Yes, I do understand. And normally we can keep the coach pretty close by too.
right,
So,
right.
I mean, the times that it has happened, the coach is also there and can pick up any persons, that might want to do that.
Right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks for your question. I have a question, Nancy. I have not yet been to the Encore. Is that like a sprawling property, thinking like Mohegan Sun, or is it more compact and tall? How much walking is involved at the Encore?
Great question. It's actually compact and tall. Yes, when you walk in the front, the image that you have on the first slide,
Oh,
there's
back to
a
that.
picture of I think you have a Ferris wheel.
Let's see if I can find that guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this one. Mm-hmm. So you see how tall it is there?
Yes.
The bottom, very bottom right is where the casino is. You can barely see it. It's just the roof in front of the river, in front of the windmill. And the hotel is obviously you can see the hotel. That's on the left. And the hotel is the high rise. So literally you walk in, they have a special bus tour entrance with an escalator, and you come up to the first floor, and then the elevator is right there to your rooms, and all the restaurants a number of restaurants are right there, right off the lobby. And then a few of them are back in the casino, which is a hallway behind that high rise to where the gaming is and a couple of the other restaurants.
Okay.
So it's not a lot of walking.
Okay. So this trip, and what about like the cobblestones, for people with walkers? Would you say maybe not for folks with walkers, but folks that, other folks that can walk without walkers?
Yes, for sure. I mean, the funny thing, Sandy, is we have two tours where we say probably shouldn't come with a walker, and they come anyway. And they really want to do it, and we'll accommodate them the best we can. And, of course.
Thank you. Thank you. Elizabeth, you're raising your hand.
Yeah, that first tour on day 2.
Yeah.
Is that a walking tour also?
The Beacon Hill Private Homes Tour?
No.
The stocking stuffer.
Oh, the stocking stuffer. No, that's all riding. That's a narrative riding tour of Boston. Usually the guide will stop once or twice for a photo stop, but that's all riding. And then you go to lunch at Cheers. That day is pretty much a relaxing, you're on the coach, you're at Cheers, you're at the Boston Pops, and then back.
It's fun filled.
Fun filled.
Yes.
For sure.
Excellent. Any other questions for Nancy? All right, we're ready to move on. Thank you so much, Nancy. We appreciate all that you do for us. Thank you so much for planning this absolutely fantastic trip. I can't wait to read the comments and the reviews from this trip, because I know people are going to be super happy, super impressed with the Encore, and the pictures are going to tell the story, I'm sure.
Yes, thank you for having me, and I hope to see many of you this Christmas.
You're welcome. Bye. All right. Next, we are going to be talking about our Pittsburgh New Year's Eve celebration. And I have a special guest to talk to you about that. And her name is Sharon Kriska. And Sharon is with a company called US Tours. You have heard about US Tours before because you've met Bob Klein on a previous Tour Tuesday, and they do a lot of our tour planning for us. And I said to them, hey, we need a fun and exciting New Year's Eve program, something a little bit different that we've never done before. And Sharon put this trip together for us, and it is fabulous. So let me introduce Sharon, and you could tell us a little bit about yourself, Sharon.
Thank you, Nancy. It's always great to be with you and share our partnership. We value Star Tours, of course, the group department, as well as some of the retail tours that we're able to help out with. So thank you for having me. And I'm glad to be able to be here. Bob just got back from Alaska, so he didn't feel he was quite the person at this point to be able to give a presentation. So it's great to be here anyway. But as Nancy said, I'm going to share our Pittsburgh New Year's Eve tour. This is just a 2-night, 3-day departure going to Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh is near and dear to my heart. Not only is it my home state, but my daughter goes to college there. So we frequent many times to the city. And this tour, like I said, it's 2 nights, December 30th to January 1st. So you're going to be celebrating the actual holiday in the city. Let's see here. So the first day, you're going to take your motor coach and travel on to Pittsburgh. As Nancy said before, or I'm sorry, Sandy said when she was talking with Nancy, we'll be making the appropriate stops, lunch on your own, all of those rest conveniences on the way as well. When you get there to Pittsburgh, the very first stop is going to be a small area called Station Square. And this is a revitalized area along the river. And a lot of little shops, there's some restaurants there, nice walking area. And we're going to be in this area a couple times throughout the tour to get different modes of transportation. So the first way is we're going to go on to the incline. So this is called the Duquesne Incline, and you can see the picture there on the right. It is a wooden car that is run by track, and it goes up and down the mountain. Has always been the source of transportation for those folks that do live at the top of the hill, and it makes it easier for them to get down to the bottom, to get to the train station and all of the other modes of transportation to take one of the bridges over into the city. The Duquesne Incline was actually built in 1877, so it is not anything that is new and modern by any means, and it kind of sat unused for quite a while in the 1950s. And then in 1963, a bunch of local folks decided that it was something they really thought was important to the area, not only for the convenience, but it's part of history in Pittsburgh itself. So they got together and they raised the funds to refurbish the entire system. The one thing that was left intact are the wooden boxes. So that's that red box that you see. That's what you ride in. They call it a box. So today it is actually owned by the city. It's part of the city transportation system. So along with the trains and the buses and the trolleys, this is part of that system as well. And it's really something unique. There aren't that many left in the world. So it is something unique, not only to this area, but actually to the United States. So when you take it from the bottom of the hill all the way to the top, there are just breathtaking views. You get to see where the 3 rivers come together. So if you're not familiar with Pittsburgh, it is what they call the 3 River area, which where the Monongahela and the Ohio and the Allegheny rivers all converge at one place, and it's right there on the edge of the city. So those views are just something to be seen, and make sure you get lots of pictures. Once you get to the top, there's a museum there. There is a little gift shop. And some area where, like I said, where you can walk around and get really good pictures. Once you take on all of that, then you get back in the box. And what it is there's actually 2 boxes. So they do it's like a pulley system. When one goes down, the other one goes up. So you take your other side, get on the other box, and then you ride down the mountain in that form. People say, well, if I don't like heights, am I going to really not like it? Probably, because it does, as you can see, it sits kind of flat. So you're not going down like at an angle, you're sitting flat and the box is moving down the side of the mountain, but you can't see anything around you. So people who do have some issues with heights tend to have a little issue with the box. And it is a very slow ride, so it's not real fast. So that's just something to consider if it's something that you would want to go up. Once you get up, you have to come back down. So it's one of those things. So then that evening, in the afternoon, then later, once we get off out of Station Square, we're going to cross over the bridge into downtown itself and check into the Drury Plaza. This is a beautiful hotel. It is conveniently located downtown. Like I said, it was actually the old Federal Reserve building in the city, and Drury has purchased it over the last 5 or 6 years, and they renovated the entire bank facility and turned it into the hotel. So when you go in, the vaults are still there. So they've turned some of the huge vaults that they used into meeting space and things like that. They've reconfigured it, but the doors are still there. So it looks like a vault, and a lot of unique architecture within the building itself because of its original purpose. One special thing about Drury Hotels is the 5:30 kickback program. This is something that I don't think anybody has ever said they didn't like. They do it's like almost like a hot buffet. They have hors d'oeuvres, they have finger foods. Sometimes they'll do sandwiches and hot dogs, and it kind of varies every day. The menu changes, as well as the drinks are included. There is a small like open bar type thing where they'll have beer and they'll have wine. It's all included in the room rate. So it's really nice area to just relax after the long day, have some refreshments with your friends, be able to chat, relax a while. And that evening you're on your own for dinner. So some folks, the kickback is plenty enough as a dinner. So that's something to consider. But if it's not, this hotel does have a restaurant and a bar on property. So it's very easy for you to just stay right there and still continue to relax. Or if you so choose to go out, it is, again, downtown, conveniently located, walking distance to many other dining venues in the area. So you would kind of have your choice that evening. The next day, we are going to go to a very special place. This is probably one of the most visited places, I think, within the city when people come to visit. So after breakfast at the hotel, we're going to go to the Heinz History Museum. And it's actually part of the Smithsonian Institute program. And it's in the district called the Strip District. And there's, for those of you who don't know Pittsburgh very well, there's 90 neighborhoods within the city itself. 90, yeah, it's a lot. And one of those neighborhoods is the Strip District. So it's located downtown. It's basically a half-mile area, so it's very close. Everything is close together, and that is where the Heinz Museum is located. So we're going to take our bus, take everyone over there, and then you're right centrally located to be able to walk. The Heinz History Center is first. And this museum covers over 250 years of Western Pennsylvania history. So it's not just about the Heinz Company. It has many, many different exhibits within it, everything from sports to history to inventors. So many people come out of there going, I didn't know that about the Pittsburgh or the Western Pennsylvania area. Of course, one of the famous parts of the museum is the Mr. Rogers exhibit. Mr. Rogers' neighborhood was actually kind of created around a neighborhood in Pittsburgh. And so within the museum now, they have, I believe it's 4 or 5 different sets. You can see the bottom left-hand picture there. It's the actual sets from the TV show that have been brought in and put into the museum. And it's, as a kid who watched the show, it's kind of neat to go there and see things up close and personable. And, you know, they have his sweater there, and they have some of the other artifacts from the show as well. So that's kind of a neat thing to do there in the museum. As well as on the bottom right there, you see the picture of the big ketchup bottle. They do have one whole floor that is dedicated to the Heinz history. And that relates more towards H.J. Heinz himself and how the company began, and how as a little boy at 8 years old, he would go to his grandmother's farm, which was only about a half a mile outside what is now Pittsburgh as a city. And he'd gather her fresh fruits and vegetables, and he'd go out and sell them. And so the history is that they're saying that's where the Heinz family kind of started their program from there. Today, it's in over 200 countries in the world, and they have 5,700 different products in their line. So it's just massive. And when you go through here, you see things and you're like, oh, I didn't realize that was a Heinz product, you know? So it's just really something to see. And of course, everybody gets their picture taken by the humongous Heinz tomato ketchup bottle there. So something for everybody to make sure they get to do that, because that's important in the museum itself. After you have a lot of time in the museum, then we're going to have lunch on our own. And again, that's in the Strip District. So within walking distance, like I said, it's totally about a half mile total from end to end. There are numerous different places for lunch, different types of food from everything, you know, that you can imagine, and every level. So depending on what you would be hungry for, I'm sure you could find something there as well. Then after lunch, we're going to board the coach and head over to the other side of the city and go to the Phipps Conservatory and Botanical Garden. A lot of people know this by the glass house, they refer to it in the city. It actually is 15 acres of land within the city itself. So this is kind of unheard of in a lot of metropolitan cities. You don't hear of that much land being taken up for a conservatory with a garden area. There's 23 distinct gardens within the conservatory area. And of course, the beautiful 14-room glass house, which is on the top picture there, is just really, really beautiful. The theme for this year for the conservatory is the Arctic Adventure. So every garden will have a theme that relates to that itself. For Christmas, you'll see numerous trees and topiaries and orchid plants. And usually the number, I believe, is about 1,600 poinsettias, give or take, for the holiday season. So you can imagine just how beautiful that will be once everything is up and blooming. And it will still be open for us on the end of the month when we get there. So they stay through the first week in January. And then, of course, this day would be New Year's Eve. It is the 31st. So we would have time to go back to the hotel for everybody to freshen up, get ready for the big evening celebration. And then we're having dinner at the Hard Rock Cafe. Now, this is also located in Station Square. So it's down where we got onto the Duquesne Cline the day before. It's more or less across the river. With 3 rivers around the city, every time you say something, it's across the river, just maybe a different river. But this is on the other side of where the hotel is located. And so we're going to go to the Hard Rock Cafe. And if you haven't been to a Hard Rock Cafe before, I really do believe this is entertainment for everyone. There is memorabilia in there and things hanging on the walls and collections from artists of all genres of music. People are excited always to look and see if it's somebody that they're interested in, to see their outfits or their guitars or whatever the music was that they were playing. On New Year's Eve, it'll be special for us because they will have live music playing that night. So it is a real party atmosphere. And what's nice is here, it's a menu. So you order off the menu when you get there. So it's nice to be able to choose what you want when you get there and not have to make a pre-choice, which is always nice. And then after dinner, then you're going to just take a short distance. We'll probably take the motor coach over, because especially if it's cold, over and go and board the dinner cruise. I'm sorry, the evening entertainment cruise, which is the Gateway Clipper. And so you can see that picture on the top right there. They board just down the river a ways from Station Square. And I know we talked before here about walking. This tour doesn't have a lot of walking, but this is probably the furthest walk you're going to have from where you get off the motor coach to get onto the boat. It is probably a good maybe 30 or 40 yards to get from one to the other. And it is at a pretty steep incline to go down, and then coming off, you would have to go back up. But it's right there on the water, easy getting on and boarding. They board everyone very quickly because they're used to it. And so you sail within no time at all. And then once we get rolling, then they're going to have a DJ for dancing and entertainment. They're going to have open bar. They're going to have hot hors d'oeuvres. They're going to have dancing, of course. And then at midnight, we'll still be sailing. And there is going to be a champagne toast, of course, to ring in the new year, which I think for all of us over the last couple of years, every time it's New Year's, it's like, yes, a new year, right? Start over, start fresh. So we ring in 2023 all together with all your friends and your traveling friends, and start off the new year aboard the Gateway Clipper.
So is it open bar or cash bar?
From what I'm gathering is they're having a set three or four set bars around the boat. That is cash bar. The New Year's Eve celebration toast is on the house.
Got it. Got it.
That
All
makes
right.
sense. Okay.
Yep, absolutely.
And then on the third day, we're going to have breakfast at the hotel, take a leisurely morning, and then depart and head for home, and, be home at a reasonable time during the day. And then I think that's it.
That's it. That's it. Lots of good fun stuff on that trip. It's nice. It's short. It's easy. Lots of fun. Let's go over, let me go over the dates. Let me go back to sharing my screen here. So it leaves the day before New Year's Eve on December 30th. It's $9.79 per person based on 2 people in a room. It includes 3 meals, and the tour director is Jean Gray. It has 20 people already booked. So 33 seats left at this point. So going to be pretty popular since it's September and it already is, has 20 people booked. So does anybody have any questions for Sharon or for me about this trip? I see a hand raising. Suzanne, just go ahead and unmute yourself. Let's see if I can read lips. Something about 5. I can't do it.
What is the weather expected during this time of year?
That's a good question. Let me get out my crystal ball.
But
it's going to be cold.
Yeah, understood. But are we expecting, is this a first time tour or what?
Well, we have not done this tour before. So this is our first time in Pittsburgh on New Year's Eve. And as you know, the weather could be anything. But there's not a lot of outside activity. The cruise is indoor, on the boat, indoors. So you're not out in the elements, and really, I don't think you're really out in the elements. There's no outdoor touring or anything like that. The botanical gardens, those are all indoors as well, right, Sharon?
Yes.
Yeah, the conservatory and the botanical gardens. I imagine it's someone like Longwood Gardens, like maybe indoor, outdoor.
There are some outdoor, but the majority of it is indoor.
Got it. Got it.
Right,
So I think this is probably I have to knock on wood when I say it, a weatherproof vacation. But you
And in
never know.
Pittsburgh, they're used to inclement weather there. So if it
Yeah.
is bad, it clears up in no time because they're used to taking care of that. So
Good
we should
point.
be fine.
Good point. Good question, Suzanne.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Let's see. All right. Well, Sharon, thank you so much. This tour looks great. I'm glad you were here to tell everybody about it. Thank you so much for your knowledge. Your love of Pittsburgh shines through when you're talking about this trip. So thank you for that. And we look forward to doing many, many, many other tours in partnership with US Tours. So thanks again.
Great. Thank you, Sandy. It's always great to be with you, like I said, and thank you, everyone, and have safe travels.
Thank you. All right, we're moving on to our next trip, our next and final trip for tonight. Let's see, there we go. We're going to be talking about the Founders Inn Thanksgiving. This is a fabulous trip. It's so fabulous. I don't want to say it out loud, but I have to. We already have 51 people booked on this trip. There's 3 seats left. We will build a wait list, so don't worry if it's not available when you call the book. Just tell us you want to be on the wait list. Who knows? Maybe we can add a second bus. That would kind of be neat. But we're really excited about this trip. This is not the first time we've done it, but we haven't done it in a few years. The tour director that did it last time, the last time we did this trip, is with us, and that's Martha Costa. Martha, say hello. I think you have to, let me ask you, now you should be able to unmute yourself. On your bottom left, go ahead and click on that microphone. Hold on, let me just go. There we go. Now, perfect. Okay. So Martha is one of our terrific tour directors, and she's escorted lots and lots of trips all over the world. And she is lucky enough to be able to escort this trip to the Founders Inn in Virginia. So, well, I should say she is lucky enough to have escorted this trip in the past to Founders Inn, because this year she's unable to escort it, but she came today to tell you all about it and how much you're going to love it. So let me go back to sharing my screen here. And you can see it. So as I said, the trip is November 24th to 27th. It's a 4-day trip. It's $849 per person. And we're heading down to Virginia for this trip. So I'll let Martha take it away from here, since she's actually been on this trip.
Yes, and it was right before COVID. So it was
2019, Thanksgiving 2019, right?
Yes, I got lucky. All right. Well, the Founders Inn and Spa at Virginia Beach, we're going to be there for 3 overnights, a part of Hilton's Tapestry collection, and it's named after the founding fathers that drafted the Constitution in 1787. You'll be really charmed by the Georgian architecture and the colonial style guest rooms, art, seats, and furniture throughout. They have a lovely indoor pool, and they also have an outdoor pool. I think in November, though, you will prefer the indoor pool. They have a fitness center and a hot tub. They have on-site restaurants. One of them is the Swan Grill, and the food there is delicious. And the hunt room is casual fare. There's also a very lovely boutique that you can go in and look around, and maybe you find some treasures there. The hotel is 16 miles from Virginia Beach from the boardwalk. The grounds at this time will be beautifully decorated. They're decked out with lights for the holidays. And of course, the icing on the cake is that you will enjoy a delicious, lavish Thanksgiving buffet with all the trimmings and a variety of exquisite desserts. And then on the second day, we're going to have breakfast at the hotel, and we're visiting Colonial Williamsburg. It is about 1 hour north of Virginia Beach, and there are about 173 acres of historic sites. It brings the 18th century colonial America to life. You can explore over 40 historic, preserved, and restored homes, trade shops, and government buildings. You will find costume interpreters that lead tours. They lead tours of the Capitol building, Governor's Palace. There are 2 art museums, which are exceptional. You will have lunch on your own, but while you're exploring, there are 4 18th century taverns and various merchant square restaurants. So there's plenty of places that you can have lunch. The visitor center also, in case that you get busy and you never get to have lunch, they have a small cafe. And they have soup, sandwiches, a very nice cafe. Now, to get to the historic area, after viewing the visitor center that has a lot of lovely displays, you go all the way to the back of the visitor center, and you board a shuttle that makes frequent stops throughout. They come about 15 minutes apart from each other. There are also, it will be a treat to be able to get a tour on a horse-drawn or ox-drawn carriage, and there are also wagons available. They have them daily according to the weather, and it would be a special adventure. So that would be our day at Williamsburg. Then the following day, after breakfast, of course, we will be on a lunch cruise with the Spirit of Norfolk on the Elizabeth River. That's a lovely, lovely cruise. There is a sumptuous buffet, wonderful, very plentiful, with a cash bar, narration throughout, DJ entertainment and dancing, and we did do a lot of dancing that day. It was great, and interactive games on the sky deck. You will be really amazed by the views of the Atlantic Fleet that was part of the Navy Reserve, and they used it to store surplus ships after World War II. Some became active during the Korean and Vietnam Wars, and they used this as a for the Navy Reserve because the waters of that area are very, very cool, and that preserves the ships. After the cruise, we will do some shopping. We're going to the premium outlets, and you'll have free time for shopping. There's a large selection of brand name stores with the advantage of 25 to 65% savings, and you take advantage of starting your Christmas holiday. We discussed this before, Sandy. I'm not sure if there is coupons involved, but in the brochure, it says that we have a passport, some kind of passport for the
Yeah, there will be savings of some sort. I don't, some of these outlets are changing to app-based coupons versus actual printed coupon books. So we'll have to see what comes up.
Okay. Well, on the same day after the shopping experience, we will go to see this beautiful holiday light display. The Bayport Credit Union sponsors the spectacular display of lights that transforms the Virginia Beach Boardwalk into a holiday wonderland. There are displays through 30 blocks of nautical and adventureland theme lights. And I'm sorry.
So our bus drives on the boardwalk, right?
They do. We will. I will get that to that in a second. In this whole light display, you will see festive fish, jumping dolphins, musical crabs, hardworking elves against the moonlit ocean. joined by Santa taking off from the pier. And they are color changing arches. I think you see some in the pictures. And all are erected on the beach or on the beautiful parks around. It's all on the boardwalk. We will be driving through the boardwalk. Some of the displays also honor the region's armed forces community. This holiday tour will be viewed from the comfort and convenience of our coach. So if it's a little cold or raining or whatever, you'll be just enjoying and viewing from the comfort of our coach. It is a riding tour, so also they instruct you that you can tune into the radio with festive music. And then on the last day, we will, after breakfast, we will travel home, and we will be hopefully carrying with us warm memories of special Thanksgiving of the 2022 tour with Star. So I hope that everybody that has registered already has a beautiful, beautiful trip. Thank you so
Excellent.
much.
Thank you, Martha. Thank you very much. And like I said before, this was a fantastic trip in 2019. It's almost sold out for this year, but we're doing it again next year. So if you don't get on it this year, we will do it again next year for sure. Howard Cylinder is going to be the lucky tour director to escort this trip. Does anybody have any questions for Martha or for me about this trip? All right. Now, does anybody have any questions regarding any of the trips or anything that's going on right now with Star? I want to point out Deb and Lindy. They're the faces behind the phone voices that you talk to. So you can call them to book, use the phone number that we have there, or you can go to our website and you can book right online as well. So any questions? All right. Wow, you guys are good. You guys are good. I would like to tell you about our next Tour Tuesday. We will be meeting up again on Tuesday, October 4th, and we'll be talking about our holiday trips and Radio City Christmas Spectacular. So I hope you join us on October 4th. Of course, it wouldn't be Tour Tuesday if I didn't have a $25 gift card winner. And that winner for today is Mitra Kelly. There we go. Congrats. I see. There she is. I see her. She's going to have to, what are you going to pick? You have a tour in mind, Mitra, or are you going to just wait and see what?
I'm going to wait and see what. Yeah. Thank you so much. I said, did she really call my name? There's 90 people registered tonight.
Well, you're lucky. There's only 52 on right now. So, hey.
Okay. So just give those ladies a call and let them know I've got
They'll call you.
Great.
But if they don't, sure, call them, but they will call you.
Thank you.
Call you. So congratulations. Let's see. What else did I want to tell you guys? I think that's it for our presentation. I want to thank everybody for coming, especially Deborah and Lindy for joining us after a full day's work. Martha, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge. And I think Nancy and Sharon are gone, but we're super thankful for them to share their knowledge as well. Of course, it wouldn't be a Tour Tuesday without all of you. So thank you for attending. And that's the end of our program. I'm going to stop recording. And if you have any questions and you want to stay on and chat, you're more than welcome to do that. So it was good to see everybody. And we'll see you again soon.
Yes, it was very good.
I'm glad. Very good.
Yes. Sandy.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
I mean, I'm
Okay,
just
take
turning off
care.
the recording.
Yeah, Sandy, this